Okay, got the gas tank out, finally. I think just about every single bolt was rusted. Yeah, I have no idea the condition of this thing, but if it's not rusty inside, I will reuse this, obviously with some pretty heavy modification, because I don't think they make a fuel injection tank for the 55 truck, as far as I've seen. Anyway, let's, moment of truth. Let's take a peek inside this thing. Okay, well, this thing is absolutely rusted on there, and I mean, you can kind of tell right there just by this little fill neck area that this thing is absolutely rusty. Crazy rusty inside. So yeah, this tank is toast. They're pretty cheap though, so I'll go ahead and just buy a new one. That is definitely the smart thing to do here, so oh well, we gave it a shot. Oh, there you go. You can hear all the rust inside this thing. Here, I'll use my little borescope thing. There you go. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Okay, what we got here is the factory Escalade gas tank, which I don't know if you remember back to when I tore that thing apart. I made very sure to keep everything involved in the gas tank. I was hoping that I could just put the gas tank into the truck. That was very ambitious of me. I guess it was just either that it was going to fit or it wasn't, and this thing is just way bigger. But that's okay. I got one important part out of this tank, and that is the entire fuel pump assembly, which is actually a pretty cool little unit. This thing includes a fuel sump. It has a built-in fuel pressure regulator. If you notice, there's only one outlet for the fuel line right here. These two are both vents. So this thing is a returnless system, all included inside the tank, which is pretty cool. That means I'll only need one single fuel line going from down there somewhere, maybe like 3 feet up to my fuel line right here. I was worried about the depth because this is something like, 10 inches or maybe 9 inches, and this one is 11 inches deep, so I was thinking I would have to like extend this depth because I don't want to leave an inch worth of gasoline, probably like half a gallon, sitting at the bottom of this thing. However, this thing is pretty nifty, and it actually adjusts to the height of your tank. I don't know why they did that, and this thing was down like 1.5 inches or so and kind of popped up. But this means that this is actually the perfect height for this at its full extension. That is just meant to be, I think. So this is as far as I can get today, unfortunately, until I get that new gas tank. And when I do, the plan is to try and find a way to install this unit into the new tank. Okay, I've got the brake pedal finished. I decided against that little circular brake pedal thing. I decided to weld on a pedal pad that will fit the stock Cadillac Escalade brake pad, because I figured since I'm going to be using the stock gas pedal, this bad boy right here, that I might as well pick a brake pedal pad that will match. And to determine the location of the brake pedal, I went ahead and just measured my Bronco, and that thing had a brake pedal height of about 5 inches from the floor and the pedal dead center underneath the steering column. And then I checked my Corvette as well, and that thing had 6-inch brake pedal height. So I just went ahead and split the difference, and I'm at about 5.5, maybe like 5 3/4 height from the floor. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. So I've got to do a little bit of modification to this upper bracket to work with the Escalade's Hydroboost setup. But luckily it's in line with this thing, so actually not too far off. And then we'll have a functioning brake pedal. Okay, brake pedal is completely finished and looking absolutely awesome, if I do say so myself. Got this thing looking really factory and hooked up and aligned perfectly to the Escalade's brake master cylinder Hydroboost setup. And this little guy here is the brake switch, which has two purposes. One is to turn on the brake lights, of course, and then I got this special little unit because it has another switch in it, which is the reverse polarity. I think when you press the pedal, it actually unswitches, which is necessary for the LS computer to turn off the transmission lockout. Computer's over there. To turn off the transmission lockout, something like that. I'm not 100% sure. You get this little thing from I think an 80s Monte Carlo or something. Yeah, that's the key to the LS swap with the 4L60, 4L80 transmission. And now we can check that one off the list. All right, gas pedal is officially mounted, officially modified, I should say. This, of course, is the Escalade's original pedal with some pretty heavy modifications. And I based the position relative to the brake pedal off of the Bronco again. And the total overall pedal swing as well. This bad boy is sitting good. It's kind of just hanging out there on the Firewall. The thing about this truck's dashboard is it really does not leave a lot to the imagination, so everything is just kind of hanging out there, but I think that's okay. Oh, and I spared you all of the tedious wiring, but I extended this thing out 18 inches or so this thing is going to reach perfectly over to the pedal computer, which is going to be hanging out up there. Yeah, so that's one more thing we can cross off the list. All right, so as you can probably tell, the replacement gas tank arrived from Tanks Inc. It's good stuff. I already have one in my Challenger and in my Corvette. And I also got this adapter ring here from Range Industries, which will allow me to run the factory Escalade in-tank pump. I'll put links in the description for both of these guys. So next thing I got to do is find the inevitable little pinholes in this thing, because I've never not had pinholes. I'm going to put some air and use some soapy water, and we'll find where the bubbles are. We'll get this thing fully sealed. All right, this fit absolutely awesome. That's incredible how super tight this thing fits around there. But that's exactly what you want. You want this thing to be like almost like a press fit in there, which is cool. We got the rubber O-ring, so we're not dealing with any like cork gaskets or any craziness like that. So the next thing I got to do for the fuel system is do some fuel lines. Oh, and while I'm here, let me give you a little piece of advice. If you're doing your own swap like this, is to take any sort of little, I don't know, whatever these quick release clips are, like this, take it off, throw it in the garbage can, because these are the dumbest, all of those aftermarket like plastic clip ones. Instead, go out and get you one of these bad boys, which is a screw-on sort of deal. All right, pop that thing on there. This goes like that. You get the idea. I'll tighten that down with some wrenches, but that is a non-clipping, permanent, screwed-on connection and gets rid of those stupid plastic clips.